Hello, everyone. This is Connor Heffernan, and today I'm showing you my project on Wireshark. Now, what is Wireshark? Wireshark is a handy little program used throughout the IT world to let you analyze a network. Uh, I chose this topic because I've had a little bit of prior experience, and with that experience, just looking at the program run, it looks pretty cool. It lets you capture the packets your computer sends and dissect them, look at what's inside of them and what information they may have to show with you. Uh, the best way to describe it is it's kind of like a voltmeter with an electrician. They'll hook it up to a wire running through the wall just to see what's going on with that wire, how much volts going through it, or why isn't there any volts going through it. That's what Wireshark is for you. You plug Wireshark into your network and it's going to tell you all the traffic that's coming through it and all the traffic that's leaving it. But what do people do with Wireshark exactly? Well, here's some simple examples I was able to find. Network admins, they use it to troubleshoot network problems. It'll help them identify what's going on. Network security engineers, they use it to examine security problems, just take a look at it. Kind of vague, but eh. QA engineers use it to verify network applications. They have to make sure whatever they developed is working well and has to be able to communicate through the network. And developers use it to debug protocol implementations, just make sure, again, everything's working as it should be. And people, the every person like me, use it just to learn network protocol stuff. Uh, but still, even with those vague examples, it's not really clear what Wireshark is. So, what is it really? The term for Wireshark is best known as a packet sniffer. Uh, and just as the name implies, it sniffs packets. uh, but what do they really do? They do these three things: they capture the packets, they filter the packets, and they help you visualize and provide visualization to said packets. So, what do I mean by packet capturing? Packet capturing's kind of simple. Every time data is sent to or from your computer, that data is called a packet, basically. Thousands of these can be sent within just a couple of seconds, so it's really easy to be overwhelmed with it. But Wireshark can record the packets sent within an individual of time. So on this demonstration here, this is less than 2 seconds worth of packets just quickly sent as I turn on the recording. And I can select any one of these and just take a look at it. But even then, with these, like, this is not even 2 seconds, and that's 20 packets already. It can become overwhelming. And that's where the next, thing that Wireshark does, filtering, comes into play. Uh, you can sort them in many different ways. Easiest way is by their source or their destination. Um, as you can see here, my IP is this one here, 119.168.7.245. So I know anything with that is from my computer to somewhere else. So up here in this little search bar, I could type that in and just only see what I send out. I could flip that around though and uh, make it. I want to see what arrives from, or like what is being sent to my computer, and I can put that in as the destination rather than the source. You can also, which is very useful as well, sort by the protocol. You can sort by, HTTP, TLS, UDP, TCP, any kind of packet. You can look in there and see what there is. However, another very useful thing is you can combine these as well, uh, just to continue narrow down the scope of what you're looking at. And the final thing, visualization, it lets you, so you have all this data, but you don't really know what it means. Wireshark helps you understand it. You can select any one of the packets in front of you and it'll tell you details of what's inside of it. But you can also change how that data is shown. Here on the left, it shows everything sorted by the IP address it's sent from. It tells me how long things were sent for and how many packets were sent, which is, just useful information. If you see a large amount of packets being sent from something, it's using that. And this figure on the right here kind of gives you a more timeline indication of what's going on, showing what's operating and how things are being sent. Now, as I was saying, you can click on any one of those packets and see what's inside of it. Uh, if it's a any packet's gonna have a source address, which shows where it's from. In this case, this is from something that wasn't my computer, and it was being sent to my computer. You can even look farther down here, and you can see the source port, which is 443, also known as the HTTP port, where most of the things of the internet are sent through. And the destination port is just some random port my computer is using at the time to receive that information. Now, what can you do with Wireshark? I mean, let's give some everyday examples here. The first one that I could think of is, say you're having problems with your network. You're trying to go to YouTube, you want to watch some video, but it's just not loading. Well, you're connected to the internet. You see the little icon at the bottom of your computer. What's going on? Well, you can open up Wireshark, and anywhere there's a problem, there's going to be a black line through your, nice colorful display there. And in this one, it's telling you that the destination is unreachable. Something's wrong with it. Well, you can look at it. You see it's through your you can see through what protocol it's going through. And in this case, you can kind of conclude something's up with your router if it's not being sent out correctly. It's not able to reach the destination. Uh, so the easiest thing to do in this case would be to just restart your router or your cable modem. It's not really a problem that can only be solved by Wireshark, but it's a cool way to use it nonetheless. Another example of what you can do with it. This one I wasn't able to get, but I can describe it a bit. So, say you're looking at all your packets that are being sent, and you see this weird packet coming from an even stranger IP, and you just keep getting a message saying that the packet's dropped. Basically, your computer is not accepting it, and it just keeps showing up on port after port after port. Well, that's kind of suspicious. Most likely, someone's trying to scan your ports, figure out what's open and what's not. And even worse, if you see one of your ports reply to that strange IP, something's going on with your computer. And whatever that is, I guarantee you don't want it going on. So, what you can do now that you've recognized this traffic through Wireshark is you can hop over to your good old command prompt, run it as admin, and type in this nice command, which netstat basically shows you what's going on your computer and all its ports. You can narrow it down to port 43 because that's left part. Oh, whoops. You can notice the suspicious activities going on by its source port. Say it's source port 43 in this case. Uh, you run netstat looking at what's on port 43, and you kind of can guess around with what it is. I'm going to say maybe in this case, it's this activity on port 8132. You hop over to Task Manager, you go to Details, and you find whatever matches that port number. In this case, it's Google Chrome. And you just shut that down so it's no longer running on your computer, sending information out to the receiver. Now, there is a lot more about Wireshark, and it's a complicated program with a lot of uses that not even I fully understand. Not even I partially understand, I'll admit that. But I think if you're going anywhere in the field of IT, Wireshark is a program you should at least have a basic understanding of. It's just an easy way to visualize what's going on with your network. Uh, Thank you for listening to this. Again, this is Connor Heffernan, and I hope you at least enjoyed my presentation on Wireshark a bit.